Thank you, Chris. Let's give him another round of applause. All right. Well, this is not just about talking heads and coming to clap hands. It is going to be, there's going to be a session where we can have an interactive session with one another. No one single person has a monopoly of ideas. So we have come to that point where we'll be bringing on our esteemed panel of discussants to join us in this final session as we deal and delve into the issues at hand. I'll be inviting them any moment from now to join me on the podium. Let me start with, if I may. Okay, just a moment. All right. According to courtesy, ladies first. I'd like to invite Dr. Esther Obasui. She is an ophthalmologist and will be joining us. Please let's have you, Dr. Esther. And yes, we will see Dr. Osage Boyiwana return. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's have Dr. Osage, please. Let's keep clapping, please. Let's keep clapping. Thank you, sir. A former Edo State Attorney General there. And then we will have Chris Inyama come back. Chris Inyama. And as Chris Inyama approaches, let us give a round of applause to Reverend Olu Martins. Reverend Olu Martins. He is the lead pastor, Hill City Christian Center, a functional civil rights activist and a social crusader. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Please join us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the icing on the cake of this grand occasion where we begin to delve into the real issues. Can somebody please take this? Thank you. Well, as we've seen the theme of today's event, clearly, truth, justice, equity. These are pillars that cannot be overemphasized when we talk about good governance. And where do we start in all of this? We're talking about Nigeria at 61. I do recall down memory lane. It just gave us a moment of retrospect. The good old days, as they call it. How many of us here witnessed, water running from our taps? How many of us witnessed, getting into the bus, queuing to get into the bus and paying with your tickets already paid, and everything was kind of orderly, and there was somehow a plan. The roads, the schools, we had other nations come to Nigeria to study. If we do recall, our schools were one of the finest in the land. So these memories gradually ebbed away, these experiences. What happened? How did we let this slip? Have we been complacent? Let me start with Doctor here. Doctor, what are your thoughts when we talk of Nigeria at 61? What does it provoke to you?
Well, the Nigerian people championed the fight for freedom from foreign domination. I'm talking about the Zikists. They were the ones that gave a deadline. Okay. They gave a deadline to the British. You must leave by 1956. there were people who said, no, we are not ready yet. Those who championed the fight for freedom for Nigerians, the British ensured that they were excluded. And the powers of governance were actually handed over to those who were prepared to leave the pillars of foreign domination in place. So, by and large, the leadership that we have had in Nigeria these past 61 years, generally speaking now, are people who did not question the foundation of that foreign domination. So for them, it has been freedom to continue to loot. The citizenry has not been at the epic center of governance. What we are talking about is a regression. As the days roll by, less and less and less is being done. Okay, at the level of celebration, at least, I remember 1960. I'm old enough to remember 1960. There were certain pretenses. At least I remember those days they would cook. In our primary school, all the headmistress and the teachers, they would be the ones to cook. And every child got a meal on that day and a flag. We know that there are leaders who distinguish themselves, who appreciated the importance of education to national development and declared free education. We know those who said it was a luxury that the state cannot afford. So the character of the Nigerian state, does it exist to meet the needs of the majority of our people? No. It's there to feather the nest of a handful. And they are the ones who have been in control. So that is why, as Fela said, ordinary water for man pikin to drink. Where you go see them? Because it's not their priority, it's not their focus.
Okay, let's look at our infrastructure over the years. We do recall history tells us very much that way back, the prestigious University of Ibadan teaching hospital played host to the likes of former Saudi Arabian leader way back. Our health institutions dilapidated over the years. Where did it start? We put the buck at the table of government all the time. But my question I would like to pose, to my panelists is, did we play a role in all of this? Did we aid and abet this anomaly that has become the status quo right now? At any point in time, did we absolve ourselves from leadership?
The populace.
The populace. Pastor, you want to come in, please?
Thank you, sir. Let me, first of all, thank those who have put this very holy convocation together. Very important. Because it was Patrick Henry that said, and I quote, that the collective freedoms of a people cannot be guaranteed as long as the actions and inactions of those in government continue to be shrouded in secrecy. So this engagement is important, because when we engage, like people often ask us, then they hear, I'm not talking to them, I'm talking to Nigeria. Yes. Because as long as you and I are alert, then our leaders, so if you like, according to Prophet Lumumba, our misleaders cannot continue to misbehave. So it is important that we bring this consciousness to bear. Victims. Because as long as we tolerate them, they will continue to behave the way they behave. But as long as we hold them accountable, particularly is a guy with jealous envy, public liberty. In fact, if you lose the right to guard with envy, the jealous public liberty, then you have lost your right to live as a citizen. So let me quickly say, that when the founding fathers of Nigeria began to negotiate our independence and liberty, it was against the backdrop that we had enough sense to govern ourselves. It was against the backdrop that wherever the part of the nation that you live in, there will be no discrimination. It didn't matter where you were, whether you were in Katsina, whether you were in Somorika, whether you were in Potiskum, wherever you were glad and proud to be a Nigerian. That was the Nigeria that was bequeathed to us. But down the lines, essentially because many of us had been deceived, deluded that politics is a dirty game. So we moved to the background, and then we allow people who suffer from schizophrenia to emerge as leaders. Now we have people who don't know their name. At some point in time, an individual is James Ibori. At another point, that same individual is James Onanefe Ibori. In this country, we saw an Evan Ewerem and an Evans Ewerem in 2 people. Why? Because the citizenry continued to tolerate them. So I agree with you to the extent that we have continued to accommodate these people. We think that those who are in public office are demigods of some sort. So you have a commissioner, so what? You have a local government, so what? Who has a PA for a particular brand of telephone. He has another PA for another brand of telephone. He has an SSA for a brand of telephone. And then when they get to our public spaces, unfortunately they get to church, and then we give them front seats. Unfortunately, because he has become a commissioner paid by public task. We are attempting to rewrite democracy. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We refuse for it to be defined as a government of the rich, by the rich, to make law for the poor to suffer. We are all Nigerians, and nobody is more Nigerian than the other. And we will not sit here and allow people reduce us to pariah nations. I am convinced that after such a platform like this, from the ashes of despondency, a new set of people will arise. A breed without breed. And I'm happy that it can arise from here. We may have been complacent, but guess what? My father tells me, anytime when a man wake up, now in morning, guess what? This is our morning. Because the Bible that we read says, joy comes in the morning. We are ready to effect that change. And that change is going to begin from here and today.
Well, Dr. Esther, can we say it's the dawn of a new day for the health sector?
Well, I want to start by thanking the organizers of this big program. Thank you so much. Well, it's not now, but I hope that in the near future.
Thank you.
I hope that in the near future it will be. Okay, I want to start by knocking off the mandates, okay, that we ignorantly allowed our government to put us in last year. Okay, I want to tell you that face mask wearing is against medicine. Social distancing is against medicine. Okay? Let me knock off the one of you wearing face masks. You see the way God made your body? He put 2 open pipes in your nostril. The reason being that when you eat, you metabolize your food. And the product of that metabolism, the main one is carbon dioxide. It's a waste. There are other waste products, but the major one is CO2. God meant for you to exhale it, not to rebreathe it. Recently, ever since this awful mandate was put in place, we have been having in the hospitals people collapsing, you understand? And nothing is wrong with them. We had to draw their blood to look at the concentration of gases. We found out that CO2 was on the high side. The person collapsed from severe asphyxia, or what you call suffocation. When you wear your face mask, that's what you are putting yourself at risk for. 2, when you wear it, it's a point of collection of germs. The very germ they said they want to protect you from. Dust everywhere has bacteria, has viruses. So when you wear those things, they will collect them. Because hair is supposed to blow them away. But you blocked your nose from receiving hair. So you collect these things, and they can easily track into your eyes or the openings. From this place, the germs just quietly, migrate into your eyes. So I, as an ophthalmologist, I see a lot of, unnecessary conjunctivitis, bacterial viral from distance. Okay? And then, for the social distancing, I treat patients with drugs, but I need the social support from the family and friends. If you take that away, my patient will not do well only with drugs. So the intent of the originators of this mandate is evil.
Are you saying there's a politics of global health at play? Can you explain that to us? Because we talk about independence. We talk about independence. Where does it start and where does it end? Does it also, independence also trickle into health as well? Should we begin to think about having our own independence from, being told, foreign dictatorship in terms of
health? Thank you so much for that question. I want to say that the health of every individual, is your personal right. You understand? You have the right to choose to live. You understand? No government, not even all doctors, have the right to impose what you don't want on you. All we do as medical doctors is to inform you of your risk of various infections or diseases. We are not allowed to impose our will, our knowledge on you if you don't want it. Just as we don't have the right, no government in all the world has the right. And again, let's come to the issue of, these so-called vaccines. There are not really vaccines. I can tell you a vaccine. What's a vaccine? You take the organism that's causing the infection, then you infuse it in the body of the person with the hope that that organism being in your system will activate your immune system to generate antibodies against that germ. Well, for COVID-19, nobody, no doctor or a scientist has been able to isolate it like we have isolated many diseases. Not one person. So how did they come about creating the vaccine? And the other day, a president of a very popular nation, I don't want to mention name, he said to the whole world that why should we be saying that the vaccine was made or manufactured in a hurry? It was not, he said. He said it was produced decades ago. So you had a so-called cure for a disease you didn't know. Are you telling me that you both created the vaccine and the virus? Because normally you get solution for a problem that you know. You don't have a cure for something that you claim you didn't know, which means you knew it. Okay, so answering your question, no government. There are stops as your own right. And then that popular say that someone that is vaccinated, okay, it adds risk, or can be infected by those not vaccinated. It's a flat lie. In medicine, a true vaccine will protect you. A true vaccine will protect you. You'll be feeling sorry for those who are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
Not to be scared of them. You understand? So which means the vaccine did not protect you in the first place. And if it did not protect you, it is not a vaccine. Because all vaccines are meant to protect you.
All right. Chris, Dr. Chris Inyama, the erosion of civil rights and liberties as a result of the vaccine regime. We've seen governments of the day gradually taking an authoritarian position on health. What is your take on that?
Well, thank you so much. You will recall that one of the very unpopular thing that our organization, Equity International, started, unpopular in quotes, because people felt that we should not say it, we should not go that route. We felt that, come on, you cannot continue to impose vaccine on any citizen. We feel that vaccine remains a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. There are people who do not accept blood transfusion because of their religion.
Yes.
And the law, quote and unquote, protect them because it is their fundamental human right. So when I have a right, I should be able to exercise that right by saying no or yes to what comes into my body.
That's right.
Let me just make it clear that we are not against anybody's vaccine. We are not against anybody's vaccine. If you choose to take a vaccine, it's your business. But I will find it as very, very unpopular and insulting for you to mandate me or to restrict me from accessing public space on the account that I've not been vaccinated. No, you see, because if we do not interrogate these things, people will think that they are right. And then somebody asked me a question, are you not infringing on the right of other persons? I said, how?
No, you're not.
I said, how?
Okay, Chris, I'll come to you because our time is fast spent. I want to really ask Dr. Eska another question. The implication of the sort of vaccine war that is imminent when vaccines are being enforced and false information is being, is coming through fact-checked. Truth is fact-checked, and you find out that won't we have a situation where families are at war based on those who are vaccinated and those who are not vaccinated, based on this information, controversial information you are trying to refute. I'm saying I cannot live with you because you've not been vaccinated and you will affect me. Isn't that going to be dangerous going forward in society? It's going to cause, a kind of polarization of society, if I may put it that way.
Thank you so much. It's just, it's so unfortunate. Lies are being spreaded and people are believing them because of fear. Okay, like I said before. Let me even say that they have said this vaccine is not a vaccine. They say it's a gene therapy because it has mRNA inside. God created us, with our mRNA. This man also went to go and make a synthetic one. Okay? So it's not a vaccine. Take that from your mind. If you've gone for one, don't go for a second one. It's a lie that you that is vaccinated, I can infect you, unless we're not vaccinated. If we're vaccinated, you have no business being afraid of me. You should be feeling sorry for me. That's what medicine teaches. Your antibodies have been activated. Your immune system is well and alive because you have been vaccinated. Why the other one has not, been vaccinated? His immune system is not activated. So if that disease comes, he will be the one that is hit, not you that is vaccinated. But now, what they are finding out is that those that have been vaccinated are catching the disease. And they are dying. In August, our colleagues abroad, they brought out, they published names 45,000 people that have died in the US from vaccine. They have the documents. Well documented. Only in America. Here in Nigeria, it's happening too. But of course, we hide our records, or we don't even keep any. You understand? So know that those that are actually catching, this so-called disease, you understand, that have not been properly diagnosed and dying, are those that have been vaccinated. Because what are viruses? In medicine, we say that all viral infections, with the exception of none, and even this one, okay, their infectivity is very mild. Let's take, for example, COVID-19. The infectious rate, the fact that if you catch disease, this virus and manifest, is 99.7 if you are age 50 and below. 15 to 50 years, 99.7 that you will be infected with the virus and manifest symptoms and come to us. 99.7. And then you also recovered, the chance that you will die from it is 0.13 to 0.14.
All right, doctor, let me go to other panelists. Doctor, you're a legal practitioner. The role of law in all of this. We've seen Nigeria with analysts saying that we face an imminent debt trap with consistent borrowing. Should we be passive about this? Is there a role the citizens can play to also ensure that, because if they fold their hands, their children's children might end up being those to pay for these debts? What can be done as we, find solutions? The problems are humongous, are multifaceted. What can we do as citizens? What role can we play?
Well, there is the African Charter on Popular Participation in Governance. It has not been put to full and effective use. Our organization, the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, we are engaged in the attempt to popularize it. We have talked about the budget-making process being narrowed down right now to the creation of business opportunities for those in public office, their friends and cronies. The most strategically positioned civil society group that can play a leading role in this process is organized labor.
Yeah.
Because they are organized and they engage in production and render strategic services. If you look at the story and the history of our anti-colonial struggles, the labor union, cost of living agitations, 1946, the forebears of the Nigerian Labour Congress played a prominent role. People like Michael Imodu and so many others. The present generation of labor leaders should refuse to be consigned to economism, issues of wage, and leave it at that. Unfortunately, even that, because what is the state of affairs now as far as minimum wage is concerned in Nigeria? It was 18,000. It's supposed to be 30,000 right now. Some states have refused to implement that. So not only must organized labor take a firm position on such issues, they should go beyond that.
Okay.
To say, in terms of numbers, the working people of this country easily constitutes the vast majority of the populace.
Yeah.
All right, Doctor.
So the budget making process must be such as is designed to address the issues of concern to us. So where you are taking loans upon loans and mortgaging the future of the country, the Nigerian Labour Congress, leading artisans, leading civil society groups, leading progressive clergy should be in a position to say, Mr. President, please hold on.
All right.
What are the terms of these loans?
Because of time, I need to bring in audience into this discussions. A time for us to feel their pulse, what their thoughts are concerning the issues that we've dealt with so far, as time really ebbs away. Let's get a few reactions to this. Can somebody get somebody be straight to the point? Just a minute. Okay, the gentleman with the glasses there. Let me take you.
I need the mic.
Can someone hand him a microphone?
These are sicknesses that actually can be controlled or cured by vaccines. But today, we find it difficult to believe that our so-called government, or rather, His Excellency, government those things. I'm narrowing this down. Is actually forcing people to take a vaccine that even the producers.
Okay, we get your point. We get your point. One more person before we, go to the audience. Come back to the panelists. One more person. All right, let's have you. Let's have that man in the green jacket there. Gentleman in the green jacket, green and white. Quickly.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank the organizer of this program. My name is Innitiative. And what I actually want to talk about, because we've been talking about what are the things, where do we miss it as a Nigerian? And Nigeria is 61 years, right? But I want to talk about just one thing. This pension stuff that we're talking about, I want to say that categorically that it's a fraud in this Nigeria. You may ask me why did I say so? Okay, like the owner of Kentucky Fried Chicken, at what age did he started his fried chicken? 65 years. But yet in Nigeria, somebody is retiring at the age of 65, is trying to collect his pension. Some of them have about millions of naira as their pension fund. At the end of the day, you'll be telling them to be collecting a token fee every month that is not enough for him to feed himself and his family. But what can we do on this kind of situation? Why can't you ask them, do you have a proposal? We're talking about SME, how to build the country. If you have a project that you know you can do, even as a retiree, okay, let him have his money.
Okay.
That's all I
Okay, thank you very much. Reverend, we want to react to that as we, reach the close. I want to react to what you said.
Thank you again. No doubt that Nigeria is bedeviled with a bundle of miasma shenanigans. No doubt. It was Fela Anikulapo Kuti that said, he said, if I sing, he said, food no day. He said, now old music be that. We can sit here and judge all we can. until we are ready to engage the system, we'll be where we are. We pray in my church that there are people in this country, for instance, how can people be concerned about University of Benin? Have you not noticed that agencies of government will come and construct buildings, University of Benin, and bring engineers from outside, and University of Benin has a faculty of engineering, especially civil engineering? Is that not what Obayago calls a pitiable dismal bisma? and you are coming constructing I taught you to be an engineer, but you bring engineers from outside to come and construct in my own place. So Nigeria is lopsided. You see, it is in Nigeria that you will see a military man, with all due respect to them, or a mobile police, asking his fellow Nigerians to frog jump at the instance of a foreigner. It's heartbreaking. So we have started. So how can leaders in this country, for instance, be concerned about education when their children school abroad? They can't be concerned about it. So we are continuing to pray that all those who are using Nigeria's money to school their children abroad, their children will not pass. Those in support say No, I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about those who have stolen our money to school their children abroad at the detriment of our university lying in squalor. Their children will not pass. Look, until we become as radical as this, these guys will continue to take us for granted. Let me quickly say, you know why people are concerned about COVID-19? You know why people are concerned? Because it doesn't have boundary. It doesn't have boundary. If COVID-19 had come through bus parks, they won't treat it. But because COVID-19 is coming, the person in the aeroplane with you can catch it. So the big men are afraid. That's why they're attacking it the way they're attacking it. And I've told them there are bigger problems than COVID-19. Much bigger problems than COVID-19. So if you can apply this passion, this zest that will apply to COVID-19, and just take a bit of it and apply it to insecurity or health or repair our universities, will be a lot better than we are. But at last, what do we have? We have people in office that Fela calls VIPs. Indeed, they should be very important personalities. But Fela quickly said they are vagabonds in
All right. I would like, and it's about time. While we will continue this broadcast, we'd like to let go of our viewers who have been with us since the commencement of this colloquium here, talking about Nigeria at 61. I certainly hope that you've actually received a lot, and the conclusion that you've come to will make you realize, as our panelists have said, nobody else will build Nigeria for you and me. Only Nigerians will build Nigeria. On that note, I want to say thank you for staying with us on this August Day event. So much has been said, but we'll have to let you go now, as the colloquium will continue with our panel here and other guests. My name is Henry Williams. Thank you for staying with us. God bless Nigeria. So, Doctor,
yes,
this is also a legal issue. The gentleman talked about the issue of vaccines. Amidst the widespread of health challenges that the nation faces, you have doctors who are on strike. You have a health system, ailing health system that needs revamping. There's that money, the billions of dollars that have been invested in COVID-19 vaccines, if invested in the health sector, could do a lot to revamp the health sector and save a lot of lives. Do we see ourselves in a place of misplaced priority here? We'll talk about government.
Well, I caution that irrespective of the theories about the origin of COVID-19, I think it is real. It is killing people.
But the numbers, when you look at the numbers compared to other diseases,
we cannot argue that let us ignore it.
Okay.
I think the whole thing is about striking a balance.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
If you recall in my presentation, Mr. President belatedly talked about, oh my, you remember me for infrastructure. I said, look, there's more to Nigeria than constructing railways. The last time I checked, the railway from Calabar to Lagos that's supposed to pass through Edo State, they have not started. If this late in the day, they have not started. When is it? Have they started? Huh? So it's not an excuse to say because I'm concerned about the spread of COVID,
Okay.
then I will ignore all other issues.
Other
I will ignore
things, exactly.
So, and then I think the fundamental point we must not lose sight of. By law, our bodies are inviolable. Rape is punishable by life imprisonment. It's because of the abhorrence we have for that unconsented to intrusion into your body. And the VAP law has widened it now. It used to be limited only to women.
Yes, so
There are men that also get raped, and boys and all of that.
the media can go.
So there's a sanctity by law that is ascribed that makes your person inviolable. That's why you can't touch.
Are you asking?
It's assault. So the doctor has very well informed us about
So we'll run an interview. That's
the anchor of medical practice being founded on informed consent. You must agree.
Yeah.
After all, it's your life.
It is.
Now, the argument about, oh, if you don't succumb, you are endangering other people
It's a lie.
is convoluted.
It's a lie. Big lie.
And we have seen, I've listened to Cyril Ramaphosa in South Africa. The tool of persuasion
Yeah.
is the ultimate factor in democratic governance.
All right.
We must be prepared to yield to superior arguments and not to impose.
Is he here?
A man who was a special assistant to Dangote a few years ago cannot claim perfect wisdom and say whatever it is that he says is no. We are on Benin soil. Eva yi owu rokpa no logo error. So that's why cross-fertilization of ideas, we leave ourselves open to being persuaded. That is the way forward. How can you say, I'm sorry, sir, that, oh, the ministries are no longer accessible? Even workers who have not vaccinated cannot come to work. And you say members of the public should go and meet those workers in their individual homes for public service? How many files did they take home? How many of them have light at home? Do we have a system that is integrated?
Integrated, exactly.
How does that impact now, even on governance? I hear that as of a few days ago, they tried to prevent access to the magistrate courts. Of course, they had to reverse themselves immediately. Why are they not preventing people from going to the market? To show how unworkable.
Or the revenue allocation
Can governance, properly so-called, be said to have been going on for the past 2 weeks when the civil service is shut down? So there's a gallery that some people are playing here, and it's not local.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. And let me come to Dr. Esther. Dr. Esther, the health sector, yes, let's give him a round of applause. Yes, it's very much in order, very much in order. The health sector is one sector that importance cannot be overemphasized. We've seen the health sector dwindle over the years. medical practitioners are en masse on an exodus from this country. The tales of war in the health sector are, legendary. How can we salvage, health from the brink right now, or state at which it is right now? Should we just be talking only COVID? Shouldn't we be talking about a more holistic approach?
Thank you so much for the question. As I said before, the death rate from
No, it is not what you think. No,
COVID-19 is very low, 0.13 to 0.15. But malaria, severe malaria death rate can be as high as 40 to 60%. Understand? So, cancers. We know cancers are so bad or fulminant. They have 1% survival rate. That means it can kill at any time. Why is our government not looking at these areas? I work in an hospital where when we lose patients, let's just say from this April this year to now, in the hospital where I work, and not just only that, in other hospitals where my colleagues work, we interact, we talk. The deaths that we have, 75 to 80% is from heart diseases. The other one is from malaria. Not one is from COVID. We don't do face masks, we don't social distance, because we know that this is a lies. If you see any doctor agree with it, he has been compromised. Because my colleagues, I know colleagues of mine who own private, yes, they were told. That's what, I mean, since last year, if you make a diagnosis of COVID, you get $500. So everybody that comes to you has COVID. Because you wouldn't multiply that by your $500. Everybody, as you bring in the case note, the head admin or the management, they begin to talk to you, doctor. Some they even threaten. You better write this statement. You know, federal government said they have to produce this number. They were giving them targets.
Doctor, are you in public or private practice?
I mean, when I work with a private organization.
Okay, fantastic. Because I wouldn't be expecting someone in public sector to make such submissions. Okay,
But
go
it's the
ahead.
truth. I made it known to the governor. I did. Even though I did. These are the truths. Okay? And then, what is special about COVID-19? Is there a good mind in there? If we are really concerned about our health, you want to tackle severe malaria, you want to tackle cancer, and the rest. Our able governor, our amiable governor said in his speech that 4 people died from COVID in the entire Edo State. Meanwhile, in my hospital, one hospital, we have more than 4 deaths from malaria in a month. More than 4 in a month. And thousands are dying from other diseases. Thousands. If you add all the other hospitals together, you left those thousands and you're worried about 4. That is why some of my colleagues are leaving this country. They could not be bought. Since last year, the exodus is worse. We have consultants leaving this country. He said, why? We are practicing things that are not medicine. Nobody should tell me to change my diagnosis when I know what my patient is suffering from.
All right. I want to thank Dr. Esther. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. We need to thank, our panelists for being here with us. They've been so much inspiring and really added a wealth of knowledge to us. But I would like them to say one final take, before we allow them to go. Please, Doctor, let me start with you before I go to Reverend. Your final words. on Nigeria at 61?
Nigerian people, fight for your rights. It's doable. New Nigeria is indeed possible if we refuse to continue to allow them. Oppression will end.
That's right.
It's the victim that will determine the length of oppression. We have suffered too much. This nation can be grounded to a halt. The reason for that can be made clear. That we need a new Nigeria. Until those who are in the helm of affairs are prepared to yield to that, nothing goes. We show them the way out. We would elect our own new leaders who are imbued with that spirit of the new Nigeria. It's been done in other places. The Nigerian Revolution beckons, and it's up to the victim to rise up to the occasion.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sagi. And I go to Reverend Olu Martins.
Thank you. It was Edmund Burke that said, and I quote, that all that evil needs to triumph is for good men to be quiet in periods of violence and moral decadence. Because silence in itself, it means that you have agreed with the oppressor. So we must quickly etch out a line of our national anthem that says the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain.
No.
So we must greet you in the name of Ganifa Wahimi. We must greet you in the name of Fela Nicola Pokuti.
Yes.
We must greet you in the name of Pa Alfred Rewani.
Yes.
And all those who stood for a greater Nigeria, whose voices are still speaking. But whilst they are away, there are those who are alive and who are still speaking. So we must greet you in the name of Pastor Chris Oyakilome, who continues to speak in the face of all that is happening. Hopefully, when Nigeria's history is being written, they will remember to add a dear doctor there. They remember to add Dr. Bayuana. And hopefully, those who didn't like what I say may omit my name. But it does not matter. Because the greatest place to write is not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of heart. History can affect the stone, but history can never affect the heart. On one Nigeria we stand. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Edo State. And God continue to bless those who speak up in the face of danger and oppression.
Let's give them a round of applause. Let's thank our distinguished panel here for joining us on today's colloquium, Nigeria at 61. We thank them for coming to share with us, giving us robust discussion today, insightful, submissions that will last for us, that has energized us, and will definitely trigger that revolution, that positive revolution that we need to turn this nation around and pull it from the brink. Let's give them a round of applause one more, please. Thank you. And on that note, we can say that we can call it a day on this colloquium. Shall we rise for the national anthem once more before we go?
Second stanza, sir.
Second stanza. Oh God of creation, direct